is not something she likes to do, and unfortunately for everybody else, it's not something I'm good at either, but I don't mind looking silly on behalf of my grandfather and for my mother. And PaPa, and that's what I'll refer to him as. He wasn't Joe to me, he was my PaPa, and he always will be my PaPa. But PaPa, you did it right. You know, that's kind of a cliche type of saying, but you know, because you always hear that and you go, well, what was it? What was that that PaPa did right all his life? The first thing was he was a friend. And he was a friend to everybody that he came in contact with. He liked everyone that talked to him, that would just sit down and have a whole conversation with him. He loved them. And then he liked them even more if they taught him something new. If he could sit there and learn from a person, boy, he thought that was the greatest thing in the world. The last time we came here, he sat in Birmingham, and a guy sat down near us and started talking to him about beekeeping. And I'll be honest, I was done with him in about 5 minutes. And but PaPa sat there and listened to him for, I think, about an hour while we were waiting for that airplane. And I think, Mother, he talked about beekeeping all the way to Houston. He was so excited because he had never learned anything about that. So he loved to learn about things, and he loved to read. And he loved to read his Wall Street journals, and newspapers, and magazines. He's probably up there underlining some Wall Street Journal articles right now to give to Jesus, so that he can read some of the articles that he wants him to read and tell them about it. And everybody liked him. He was so easy to get along with. When we had him in Birmingham, we would take him places. Mom would take him to the hairdressers. And if you don't think those women fawned over him, boy, he was a hit there. And he came to my office. And he was maybe at my office for about an hour. Everybody walks by my office. How's PaPa doing today? And they were devastated to hear about his passing. Because there was just a few minutes of meeting that man. He made an effect. He had an effect on everyone. The second thing I think that he did right that made him great, he was a patriot. He loved his country. So, like we said, he served in World War II, and he was proud of it. He was so proud of me and my cousins that served in the military. When I would talk to him when I was in the Army and in Germany and Iraq, he would always tell me to go fix the government. He thought I was in a position where I could go talk to somebody and make these changes he wanted to make. And I'd just tell him, okay, I'll do my best. And he was happy with that. He paid for cable service, but I don't know why, because every time I went over to the apartment, he had one thing on that TV channel, and that was Fox News. Because he loved to watch Fox News, and you better not call him at 7 o'clock, because that's when Bill O'Reilly was on, and he could learn a little new something from Bill O'Reilly. So that made him happy, learning about his country. But he always wanted to look at both sides, because I would tell him, I'd say, I'd joke and say, I'm going to take you to a liberal meeting one day. He goes, oh no, I like that, because I want to learn their side. Because if I'm going to believe in my side, I've got to know what the other side says. And I said, you know what? 94 years old, smartest man in the world. No question. And he didn't want flowers. That's what he told my mom. Past couple of weeks, he said, I don't want flowers at my funeral. I want a flag. And he got that flag. And I'm very happy for him. And most importantly, he did nothing more right than he did family. My PaPa raised some amazing kids. I know I can personally vouch for one in particular, my mother. Because if she learned anything, it was how to raise family. And I know my two uncles, and I know they're great men too. much as we give each other, you know what, all the time. And he would sacrifice for his family. Mother told me that he would work extra. He'd take more time out of his personal life, go work some extra, get her the best of whatever it is. That beautiful prom dress you want. Well, PaPa would do that. When it came to the birth of Leanne, my mom's first child, it was during a time where that wasn't the most accepted thing, but he didn't judge. He stood beside her. He said, this is my daughter, and she will be beautiful, and my granddaughter will be beautiful. And then he was ecstatic when we found her years later. He was so happy to have his granddaughter back that he stood by 40 years ago. He was proud of his grandkids. Like I said, he's proud of those of us who serve. He's proud of us that work hard. I thought I was going to, the Friday before he passed, he was in the hospital, and I had been to the gym, and I had told him, I said, "PaPa, I lifted this amazing amount of weight." And he said, I heard him say, "I don't care about that, you're smart." I had that day, he wanted me to work on his computer, and I remoted into his computer from my office, and he just sat there and watched, and he thought that was the coolest thing. He just couldn't let that go. He was just amazing when it came to being proud of all his family and friends. To my mother and to my uncle, y'all have to keep living through him. We still have a lot to learn. And he taught y'all how to raise us, so we know that we will keep learning from you. To me and to the rest of the grandkids, and even great-grandkids. We have a lot of work to do. PaPa set the bar very high. So let's keep his memory alive for good people. And he was good at it. If those three things were the it, he was the best.